All right, today talking about the song Possum by the band Phish. Cool little song, real basic, just chord structure over and over. Starts on this really cool E major riff, or E7. So that's kind of one way to play it there. Really cool. Open E, low open E, then strum, you're playing an E7 here, and then strum, and then hammer on that first finger, and then bring on that third finger for underneath it here, the second fret of the G string. So, it's got that pretty cool strumming pattern there. Okay, then it goes to the A. A7 works there, A major. I like what TREY kind of does. He kind of riffs through it because Mike's singing it, so he'll do this walk up here, kind of bluegrassy-ish kind of walk up, playing thirds. Back up to the E there. So again. Or some sort of rendition of that. Something like that. But really cool, great little trick to know anyways. Walking up there, playing the thirds there in the A major. Just kind of walking up to that E there, right? And starts over. Sometimes I think he'll go up here and hit that high E, like. For the hit a possum. Sometimes there. E there, sometimes here, but I think a lot of times either these two or those two, right? There's also the intro, which I kind of forgot, where they're just kind of stuff like that, kind of noodling around that high E. So yeah, that riff is a really cool, little tricky, cool thing to learn, and just try to match it. And then they also do. Sometimes TREY will do that. I don't see him do that as much as he used to, but you got that E, and then you're adding your third finger underneath. You're sliding that up and back. Whoops. Really cool sounding, rhythm structures. So practice that, try to get that down, then go to the A. Back to the E. To a B7, right there, you can play it there, to a G, to an A, back to the E. That B7 there, whoops, sorry, really cool chord, to a G, play that G like that, up to an A, G here to an A, or you can put that B7 up here, G, about this. I went too low. It's really hot here in Austin, Texas, and man, my hair was long and thick. So now I got super thin and short, and it feels way better. But I went to a 1. I tried a 3, and I was like, yeah, let's go shorter. Went to a 1. Yeah, looks kind of crazy. Anyways, back to the video. So that's the whole chord progression. That's it. You know, pretty simple, right? I was driving down the road one day. Someone hit a possum. You know, the first time, it's the first that's there. What? Come from top of the mountain, baby, where the people come to pray. And there's no hits. But then out on the driving down the road, I was driving down the road one day. Someone hit a possum. Does that? I was driving down the road one day. Someone hit a possum. You know, something like that. So what's that road? So they say. Something like that, right? And then for the chorus, possum, 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 hangs on that E. Possum. Back to the intro. Whoa, possum, possum. I gotta learn those harmonies. Possum. Whoa, possum. That B7, G. Your end is around. Alright, so that is the chord progression. Fairly simple, pretty straightforward. Got some cool stuff going in there. Now to solo on top of that, you know, what I'm thinking when I'm soloing on top of this is how I move with those chords, right? So you got that E, and I'm usually here, this E major, right? Or I'm sorry, it's a E mixolydian is what you would be using. So you can play that up here. I'm kind of thinking right here is kind of that first E structure for me. Whoops. That first E sort of mixolydian. You got the open E too. But you know, I'm really thinking this chord. And for a lot of my stuff, when I'm playing, I'm usually seeing the chords, and then I'll see the scales, you know, the modes and the arpeggios around it. So I like to use that E there, right? Drop to that flatted 7th, you know? And then this E here, you know, and I like to play that in the 3rd. There's your high E there, and that E there too. You know, thinking, you know, pretty much mixolydian, E mixolydian, and then when it moves to that A, it's kind of thinking that A chord there, or here, one of the two, and I'm really thinking pretty much A major, you know, and then this chord here. So this stuff like branches up and down a lot, so I like to see the chords and the kind of the roots, you know, the meat and potatoes, the ones, like there's the 1, that's the A, there's the A, here's the A, the 1, 1, 1, and then, you know, around that see the branches, the 3, the 5, 3, 5, 1, and I'll really sort of, you know, play those notes a lot, you know, so there's your A. Then it comes up to the B. A lot of times I'll slide up here. And this one, I guess it's B mixolydian. Man, a lot of time it's just eerie, you know, you kind of hear, is it a half step or a whole step? And like, if you're here on the 1 on that B, and you just go down a half step, you're like, man, that doesn't quite sound right, just, you know, it's a half step. And that kind of makes sense because, you know, it's got the A chord in it there, and the A chord's coming soon after that B chord. You know, got G to A to B. So what I'm thinking, like, is that B down to that G, up to that A, and then back to that E. So like something like this would be. Up to the B, G, A, back to E. Something like that. It's obviously a little easier if you have a backing track. You know, if I loop this. Let's try that and see how that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so to the A there, back to the E, B, G, A, E. Try it again. E, to the E, to B, G, A, E, E. G, A, you know, E, we'll do this thing, to the B, G, back to your E. Then you can kind of throw in that E minor pentatonic. To the A. Back to E. B. G. A. To E. Okay, so, you know, to do that, you got to get pretty fluid with knowing those 3 sort of scales, and those 3 arpeggios is super helpful, you know, so like knowing that E arpeggio here, that A arpeggio here, you know, the B arpeggio, G, what? A, back to E. The arpeggios are super helpful. You know, it's just really blending the two, like blending the different modes with the arpeggios. And the way I see it is the chords, you know, that's like, I think that's not should, but it's helpful to see those first, like see those chords, you know, and then build structures around them, you know, like if you're gonna learn that open E mixolydian, you know. Also, that could be open there, so, you know. You know, honestly, my modal works good. I've got them pretty memorized, but it's like not the greatest. I play a lot more by ear, and I'll hear those half steps. You know, it's just relative pitch. You'll hear whether you should move up or down a half step, and that'll kind of give away whether you should be playing that, you know, major seventh or that flatted seventh, which is the difference between the major and the mixolydian. So, like in this case, you know, for me, it's easier when it's not the open strings. You know, up here, it's not open, right? It's really easy for me to see that flatted seventh, and that's sort of why that minor pentatonic works in there too, because, you know, it's got that flatted seventh in there. And then you can roll back in the 3 there. So like you can kind of jump between that minor pentatonic and then that major mixolydian, I mean. That's a real nice trick. I know John Mayer does that a lot. Something like that. He's, you know, it gives it that bluesy sound, which is, you know, essentially what this is a blues progression. So yeah, you know, you see those chords, you see that E there, and then you know, you build your. There's major, there's your flatted seventh. Then you see that A. Back to that. B. You can go G here. Whoops, G here, right there. You know. It's up to A there. Back to E. So, you know, I'm playing a lot of notes in there, and that's the other thing too, is play sparingly. You know, try to make more of an impression, more of a connection, more of a story. Try to tell more of a story with less notes, less words. You know, be very descriptive with your playing. But yeah, that's a lot of what I'm thinking for that song. That's Possum by Phish. Great tune. If you have any questions in the comments, let me know. Appreciate your support and watching these videos. And thanks, y'all. All right, have a beautiful day. Peace.